All right, one of the things you have to be able to do coming out of Algebra 2 is you have to be able to solve a quadratic. And one way that we solve quadratics is by factoring. We factor, and then we set each factor equal to 0, 0 product proper t. So we're not solving these, we're just practicing factoring. So the first thing we do is we make our two sets of parentheses, and we put an x in each. Plus and plus means it's going to be double plus. But we'll figure that out part of this. Is the Officer Burnett half donut trick. Remember, you multiply to make this number, you add or subtract to make the middle number. So 4 and 10 won't make 22, but two $20 bills, 2 times 20 is that. But if you add 2 and 20 together, you do get 22. And these both need to be addition. Now, if I said solve, you would make the t and you would set each factor equal to 0, but that's all you're doing. You're just practicing the factoring part. Number 5. I don't like this negative in the front, so I'm going to factor it out to the front first. So I'm going to think of -1 as a common factor. So you can do that on number 6 and you can do that on number 3. I think it makes it easier. So we got x squared. So we're dividing out this negative, minus 3x, and then minus 4, 0. So I think it's easier to think about this when this is positive x squared instead of having the negative there. You can do it. It's just I think it's easier to think about this way. And then we got double. Now this one here we have to have one that's positive and one's negative. So when there's a plus in the back, it's double plus or double minus. But here it's a minus in the back, so one has to be plus, one has to be minus. 4 and 10 will not make 3, but 8 and 5 will, because if you have a -8 and a positive 5, see 5 and then minus 8 would be 3. So do the Officer Burnett half donut trick, boom, ba boom, and then this, and then boom, ba boom, and then minus 8x. So this and this go together to make -3. And it looks like half a donut, and it's a red glazed donut. All right, so but this is the answer right there, just practicing the factoring part. The next one, we're going to take out the common factor, GCF, greatest common factor. So and then factor it again if possible. So you may be able to factor it more, you may not be able to. So I'm drinking a little bit of water here. All right, so 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 5 is in common between these, and also B. So I'm going to take out a 5 and a B. And what do I have left over? So it's like dividing, or what times this this times this makes this. Well, I need a 5, right? 5 times 5 makes 25, and then I need a B. B times B is B squared. And then 4 5s make 20, so minus 4. And then the B comes along for a ride, so ba-boom. That is the answer. The next one, there's a 7 in common with each of those, but not a Y, just the 7. Now here I had 5 and B in common. Here I just have the 7 in common. So take a 7 out, and then maybe that'll make it the number smaller, so we can factor it a second time. So 2y squared plus y, and then minus 3. This times this is this, this times this is this, this times this is that. Now this does factor a second time, so I bring it down. And what I like in this too is, like, if you do the old factor tree from middle school or elementary school, if you do that, you're not really done. You bring the 3 down and then you split it up a second time. So that would be prime factorization of 12, 3 times 2 times 2. So we took out the 7s, like we split it up once, but then we get to take this part and split it up again, just like we took the 4 and split it up a second time. So it's 2y and y, and then let's see, plus 3. Let's see, what are we going to do here? Oh yeah, plus 3 here, because this and this make 3y, and then minus 1, that would make minus 2, and then that'll make the 1 in the center there. So here's the Officer Bell half donut trick. This and this makes 3y. This and this makes negative 2y. 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. There's an invisible 1 right there. And so that works, and that is the answer. Voila. Okay, going down the center of the back side here. This is a free-for-all. So this is all the different kinds of factoring. These ones here are at the end are kind of pattern factoring. So if you look at number 20, it's just t and t, and then we got 49. Well, 49 and 14 are related because 7 times 7 and 7 plus 7. So it's 7 and 7, and then there's a plus in the back but a minus in the middle, so it's a double negative. Number 23 is also one that's doubled up. So if we do 9z and 9z, and then we do 2 and 2, then that's going to make all of that happen as well. So I believe these last bottom ones are all like doubled up. So that's the bottom of the page. They're all perfect squares. Perfect squares. So what do I mean a perfect square? You could do 7 or t minus 7 and then write it squared. So that would be a perfect square. You could do 9z plus 2, and you could write this as a squared. And all of these last 6 are that way. Okay, up here at the top, it's a free-for-all. All the different kinds of things can happen. There's numbers in the front. So here we go. 2x and x. So it's not x and x. You have to have this 2x in the center right there. 24 would be, and there's a plus in the back, so it's going to be double negative. If I put the 2 and the 8 opposite of each other, that makes 16. And then we put a 3 there, that would be 19 total. And then 3 times 8 is the 24. Double negative, and ba-boom. That's how that one works. Okay, the next one here is 5 and t. I know it has to be 5t because 5 is a prime number. So it's 2, 5, 3, 2. So you know that how the first part is because I gave you prime numbers. Prime numbers just have the factors of 1 in themselves. So 5t times t is the only thing that makes that. The tricky part is figuring out where do you put the other numbers. 32 has lots of factors. 1 times 32, 2 times 16, and 4 times 8. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. So 2 and 16 are kind of far apart. So is 1 and 32. So I would start with 4 and 8. Now, if I put 8 over here, 5 times 8 is 40, and that's a long way away from the 28. So I really should have put 8 here, and then I got my little whiteout stuff, and then put a 4 here. So then that times that's 20, 28, plus and plus. So there we go. And that's the whole worksheet now in 8 minutes, and you can do the other 2 columns. All right.